let's get right into it.
Number 6.
Imagine being so unbothered by death that when you get old, you just restart your life. No reincarnation, no backup save file, just hit New Game Plus in the same body. That's basically what Turritopsis dohrnii, aka the immortal jellyfish, does. When it's injured, starving, or dying, it reverses its own aging process, transforming its adult cells back into baby ones. In human terms, it's like getting wrinkles, losing your hair, and then suddenly turning into a toddler with a full head of baby fluff again. Scientists call this transdifferentiation. Basically, the jellyfish tells its cells, forget who you are, you're a stem cell now. And all the cells just agree. It's the biological equivalent of hitting Control+Z on life. Humans technically have similar abilities buried deep in our genetic coding. We just forgot how to use them. Our cells can reset, but they tend to get confused, start copying their own data, and eventually throw a fatal error. Cancer is, ironically, one of the results of our bodies trying too hard to be immortal. Researchers are studying the jellyfish's genes like it's the Rosetta Stone of immortality. If we ever figure out how to safely trigger that same reset in humans, we might not just slow aging, we could reverse it. Of course, that also means you could end up in an awkward situation where your 80-year-old grandma accidentally resets herself to 25 and starts dating your history teacher. Basically, nature already solved immortality. It just gave it to a squishy, brainless blob instead of us. Typical.
Number 5. Zombie cells and eternal youth. Here's a fun fact. You're already kind of immortal, if you count the parts of you that refuse to die properly. They're called senescent cells, cells that stop dividing but don't fully die, so they just hang around, ruining everything like the biological version of expired milk. When you're young, your body cleans them out efficiently, but as you age, they start piling up. They secrete inflammatory chemicals, damage nearby cells, and basically gossip with your immune system about how terrible your joints are. Scientists believe these zombie cells are a huge part of why we age in the first place. Enter the science of senolytics, drugs designed to hunt down and destroy these freeloaders. In lab mice, getting rid of senescent cells made them live 25% longer and age more slowly. Imagine if your body had a clear cache button that fixed your wrinkles, brain fog, and lower back pain all at once. That's the dream. But there's a catch. Killing off senescent cells too aggressively could trigger tissue collapse or cancer because some of them still do important repair work. It's like firing your entire maintenance crew because one of them took a long lunch break. Still, it's one of the most promising leads for human longevity. We might not get to live forever, but if senolytics go mainstream, at least you won't feel like you're dying when you bend over to tie your shoes.
Number 4.
The mind upload dilemma. Yes, the most sci-fi solution to mortality. Just upload your brain. Copy everything inside your head and drop it into a digital afterlife where your consciousness lives forever. Easy, right? Except for one tiny problem. That isn't you. It's a copy. A disturbingly perfect, emotionally aware, memory-rich version of you, but the real you is still stuck in the meat suit waiting for the Wi-Fi to drop. Scientists and philosophers have argued for decades about whether mind uploading would preserve you or just create a new digital person who thinks they're you. It's the philosophical equivalent of cloning your dog and insisting it remembers belly rubs from 5 years ago. Still, projects like Neuralink, OpenAI's digital twins, and the Human Brain Project are all inching toward mapping the brain in high resolution. Eventually, we could recreate personalities, habits, and thought patterns so precisely that digital consciousness becomes indistinguishable from human. The real question isn't whether we can upload minds, it's whether we should. If death becomes optional, what happens to meaning, purpose, or even boredom? Imagine living 10,000 years inside a server, running out of Netflix shows, and realizing immortality feels exactly like dial-up. Basically, mind uploading is eternal life with the world's worst tech support.
Number 3. The blood of the young. Science fact or vampire fan fiction?
Both, apparently. There's a real field of research called parabiosis, which sounds like a metal band, but actually means connecting the circulatory systems of two animals. Scientists did this with mice. They stitched an old mouse and a young mouse together so they shared blood. The result? The old mouse started getting younger. Its muscles repaired faster, its brain got sharper, and even its fur grew shinier. Meanwhile, the young mouse started aging faster, which is either tragic or the plot of a Disney villain origin story. Researchers later isolated the compounds responsible, and one of the big suspects is a protein called GDF11, which seems to reverse certain aging markers. The dream? Bottling that protein or just harvesting plasma from young donors to rejuvenate older bodies. Of course, rich people heard young blood and immediately started trying to buy it. Real companies popped up offering rejuvenation plasma transfusions for thousands of dollars a session. It got so ethically weird that the FDA had to step in and say, "Hey, stop pretending you're a vampire startup." Still, the science isn't total pseudoscience. There is something in youthful blood chemistry that helps cells repair and regenerate better. Researchers are now trying to synthesize it without requiring, an intern's donation. If it works, the future of anti-aging could look less like skincare commercials and more like biotech potions brewed in fluorescent labs. Until then, maybe just sleep, hydrate, and resist the urge to kidnap a 20-year-old jogger for research purposes. Basically, it's vampire science, but with more paperwork.
Number 2. Cryonics and the frozen dream. Picture this. You die, and instead of being buried, your body is flash frozen in liquid nitrogen, waiting for future scientists to bring you back. It sounds like sci-fi nonsense, but cryonics is very real, and people are paying big money for it. Cryonics companies like Alcor and CryoCare will literally freeze your body, or just your head if you're on a budget, for a chance at future revival. They pump you full of cryoprotectants, which prevent ice crystals from shredding your cells, and then store you in a steel tank at minus 196 degrees Celsius. You're not technically alive, but not totally dead either. Just in eternal freezer purgatory, waiting for the 25th century to hit resume. The catch? No one's ever been successfully revived. Ice damage, brain decay, and chemistry itself still make revival basically impossible. You might thaw out one day, but your memories could melt into digital soup. Still, it's weirdly poetic. Cryonics isn't about cheating death. It's about betting on science. It's like leaving your body as a Kickstarter project for future humans. Hey, if you guys invent immortality, bring me back. Thanks. And who knows, in 100 years, you might wake up in a world where aging is optional, gravity is customizable, and everyone's arguing about which version of immortality is best. Basically, cryonics is the world's most expensive nap, with a possible sequel.
Number 1. The immortality paradox. So let's say we do it. We crack immortality. No aging, no disease, no death, unless you really, really want it. Humanity finally wins. But here's the punchline. What happens after we stop dying? Biologists worried that eternal life would make evolution itself obsolete. Without death, bad genes stick around forever. Overpopulation skyrockets. Love, art, ambition, everything we do to beat the clock might lose its spark. Immortality could turn the human race into a museum exhibit of bored, flawless creatures waiting for something new to matter again. Psychologists call this the death paradox. Our awareness of mortality gives life urgency, meaning, and depth. Without an end, there's no middle or climax, just infinite reruns. You could master every skill, visit every planet, and still feel the same cosmic ennui you get after scrolling Netflix for 3 hours and picking nothing. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.